Find somewhere comfortable. You don't need to sit up straight or arrange yourself in any particular way. Just let your body be where it is. In bed, on the sofa, wherever the night has found you. You don't need to concentrate on any of this. You don't need to remember it. If your eyes are already closed, leave them closed. If your mind is already wandering, let it wander. The words will still reach you softly in whatever way they can. We're in no hurry tonight. If today was hard, and for a lot of people, today was hard. You don't need to process it right now. You don't need to figure anything out. Whatever you're carrying, it doesn't have to be put down neatly or examined carefully before you're allowed to rest. It can just be there, somewhere at the edge of things, while we spend a little time together in the quiet. Tonight, we're going to talk about something that has been with you every moment of your life, and yet something you almost never think about. Something so ordinary that it disappears into the background like the hum of a refrigerator or the distant sound of traffic. Something that, when you finally do turn your attention toward it, has a way of changing everything about how you feel. We're going to talk about the breath. Not in a clinical way. Not in a way that asks anything of you. Just gently, the way you might describe something you find quietly extraordinary to a friend who is very tired and needs to hear something good before sleep. Because there is something good here. Something genuinely worth knowing. There is a question that seems almost too simple to ask. It feels like asking why the sky is blue, or why we find it easier to think in the morning. The question is this: why does taking a slow, deep breath make you feel calmer? You already know that it does. You've known it your whole life in some instinctive, wordless way. When something frightened you as a child, someone told you to breathe. When you were about to do something difficult, you paused and took a breath first. Before sleep, on the best nights, there is that one long exhale that feels like the body finally releasing something it had been holding all day. But why? What is actually happening? The answer turns out to be one of the more beautiful things I've come across in a long time. It involves ancient traditions that understood something profound long before science had the language to explain it. It involves a tiny cluster of neurons in the brainstem, discovered only a few decades ago, that turns out to be a kind of hidden dial connecting your breathing to your emotional state. It involves a nerve so long and so far-reaching that some researchers have taken to calling it a superhighway. A direct physical connection between the rhythm of your chest and the quietest depths of your body. And it involves you, right now, lying in the dark, already doing the thing without even trying. The breath is always there. Patient, ancient, unhurried. It has been with you since the first moments of your life, and it will be there at the last. And somewhere between those two moments, it has a great deal of quiet power that most of us have never been properly introduced to. So let's begin there. At the very beginning, you take somewhere between 17 and 23,000 breaths today. Each one was managed entirely without your involvement. You didn't schedule them or remember to do them. You were in meetings or eating dinner or lying awake worrying, and the whole time your body was quietly, patiently doing this one essential thing on your behalf. That automatic quality is worth pausing on because it is genuinely unusual. Most of your body's vital processes are completely beyond your reach. Your heart beats without your permission. Your liver filters without your instruction. Your immune system makes decisions you'll never know about. But breathing sits in a strange and fascinating middle place. It happens on its own, yes, And yet you can also reach in and take hold of it anytime you like and change it deliberately. You can slow it down. You can deepen it. You can hold it or release it with a long, soft sigh. No other function of the body works quite like this. The breath is the only place where the voluntary and the involuntary meet. That fact, which might seem like a small anatomical curiosity, turns out to be one of the most important things about being human. The part of the brain that governs automatic breathing sits deep in the brainstem, one of the oldest and most fundamental structures in the brain. In 1991, a neurobiologist at UCLA named Jack Feldman was studying mice when he discovered something remarkable. Tucked inside the brainstem, in a region called the pre-Boettinger complex, was a tiny cluster of neurons acting as a kind of pacemaker, a biological metronome setting the rhythm of every breath. Not just the rhythm of breathing, as it turned out. This little cluster was also found to be in direct communication with brain regions that govern arousal, attention, and emotional tone. Anxiety, excitement, tranquility. The rhythm of the breath generated by this small group of cells was shaping all of it. An equivalent structure was later identified in humans. What Dr. Feldman had found, essentially, was a hidden wire running between the lungs and the mind. A direct connection. Not a metaphor. Not a spiritual concept. An actual, physical, neurological connection between the way you breathe and the way you feel. That wire runs in both directions. When you are anxious or frightened, your breathing becomes quick and shallow, almost without your noticing. The body is preparing itself for something difficult. It wants to move fast, so it takes fast, short pulls of air. The breathing pattern is not a symptom of the anxiety, it is part of the anxiety itself. It feeds it. It tells the brain, yes, something is wrong, keep the alarm going. And the reverse is also true. When you deliberately slow the breath, when you make it deep and unhurried, you are sending a signal back down that same wire. You are telling the brainstem, and through it the whole nervous system, the emergency is over. You can stand down now. Something in the body listens. Something in the body slowly begins to believe it. This is the quiet power that has been waiting for you all along. The ordinary act of breathing, done with even a little more care and intention, becomes a conversation with your own nervous system. A way of speaking to the parts of yourself that don't respond to logic or willpower, or telling yourself to calm down. The body doesn't understand words, but it understands rhythm, and the breath is the most ancient rhythm you have. Inside your body right now, two vast systems are running. They are always running, in a kind of ongoing negotiation with each other, and the balance between them determines, to a remarkable degree, how you feel at any given moment. One of them is what researchers call the sympathetic nervous system. Its job is to prepare you for action. When it activates, your heart rate climbs. Your breathing quickens and rises into the chest. Stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline begin to move through the blood. Your muscles tighten. Your digestion slows. Your attention narrows to whatever is immediately in front of you. This is the system that kept your ancestors alive when there was genuine danger nearby. It is fast, efficient, and absolutely necessary. The other system is the parasympathetic nervous system. Its job is almost the opposite. When it takes over, the heart rate slows. The muscles soften. Digestion resumes. The breath drops lower in the body, becoming deeper and more regular. The mind, rather than narrowing to a point of sharp focus, begins to open and spread, This is the system of rest, of recovery, of repair. The system that allows the body to do the slow, patient work of healing itself. The system that allows sleep. If today was difficult, if you've been tense or rushed or sitting with something heavy, it's very possible that your sympathetic system has been running at a higher level than it needed to. This is not a weakness or a failure. It is simply what happens when the pressures of modern life are routed through a nervous system that evolved for a different kind of world. The system was designed for genuine physical threats that would resolve quickly. It wasn't designed for the low, persistent hum of everything that weighs on us now. The good news is that the parasympathetic system is always there, ready to come forward. And it has a very particular door. That door is the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the longest cranial nerve in the body. It travels from the brainstem all the way down through the neck, into the chest, and deep into the abdomen, branching as it goes to connect with the heart, the lungs, the stomach, the gut, and a dozen other organs. Its name comes from the Latin word for wandering. It is, quite literally, the nerve that wanders through you. Its function is primarily to carry parasympathetic signals, the signals of calm, of rest, of safety, from the brain to the body, and information back from the body to the brain. It is a two-way road, and it is extraordinarily sensitive to one thing in particular: the movement of the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a broad, dome-shaped muscle that sits at the base of the lungs. When you breathe in a shallow way, the way most adults breathe most of the time, high in the chest, the diaphragm barely moves. But when you breathe deeply, when the breath drops all the way down into the belly and the diaphragm flattens and descends, it gently presses against the vagus nerve. That pressure is a signal. The vagus nerve carries it upward to the brainstem. Something has changed. The breathing has slowed. The body has room. Activate the parasympathetic response. And so it does. The heart rate begins to fall. The blood pressure eases. The cortisol that has been circulating through the blood starts to quiet. The muscles, which have been holding a low level of tension that you may not have even noticed, begin to release it. The mind, which has been running its loops and its lists, finds the loops a little slower, a little less insistent. All of this from a single deep breath, a single unhurried downward breath. There is a measurement that researchers use to track how well this system is functioning. It is called heart rate variability, and it refers to the small, natural fluctuations in the time between heartbeats. A healthy heart doesn't beat with the mechanical regularity of a clock. It speeds up very slightly when you inhale and slows very slightly when you exhale. That subtle variation is a sign of a responsive, resilient nervous system, one that is in good communication with itself, able to adapt quickly to changing circumstances. People with higher heart rate variability tend to handle stress more easily, recover from difficult emotions more quickly, and sleep more deeply. Slow, deep breathing consistently increases heart rate variability. Studies have found that the optimal breathing rate for this effect is somewhere between 5 and 7 breaths per minute, far slower than the average adult's resting rate of 12 to 20. At that pace, the vagus nerve is gently, rhythmically stimulated with every breath, and the parasympathetic system is given space to come forward and do its work. You don't need to count anything tonight. You don't need to time yourself. Just knowing that slower is gentler, that deeper is calmer. That is enough for now. Long before anyone had mapped the vagus nerve or measured heart rate variability, people understood that the breath was something more than just air moving in and out of the body. The Sanskrit word pranayama is often translated as breath control, but the deeper meaning is closer to something like the expansion of life force. prana. The same root that gives us the word for breath was understood in ancient Indian philosophy as the vital energy that animates all living things. To work with the breath was to work with life itself. The Upanishads, some of the oldest philosophical texts in the world, written somewhere between 800 and 400 years before the Common Era, describe more than 50 distinct breathing techniques, each designed to influence the body, the mind, and the spirit in different ways. 2,000 years ago, the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali made an observation that, in light of everything modern science has since discovered, is quietly astonishing. It suggested a direct relationship between the length of the exhalation and the stability of the mood. A longer exhale, Patanjali wrote, promotes emotional calm. This is not a vague spiritual claim. It is a precise physiological observation made 2 millennia before the research existed to explain it. The exhale is the parasympathetic phase of the breath. When you breathe out, the heart slows. The vagus nerve is more active. The nervous system moves toward rest, extending the exhale, making it longer than the inhale, deepens and prolongs this effect. The ancient yogis had discovered this through careful, patient attention to their own bodies long before anyone had heard of the autonomic nervous system. Buddhism, too, placed the breath at the very center of its meditative tradition. The practice known as anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing, is attributed to Gautama Buddha himself and remains one of the most widely practiced forms of meditation in the world. It is, at its core, simply the act of placing gentle attention on the natural rhythm of the breath, not forcing it, not changing it, just noticing it with curiosity and care. In ancient China, the practices of Qigong and Tai Chi were built around a similar understanding that the breath and the body's vital energy are inseparable and that slow, conscious breathing is one of the most direct paths to health and stillness. The word qi, like prana, means something like breath or life force. The ancient Chinese understanding of the body was, in many ways, a map of the same territory that modern neuroscience is still exploring. Even in the ancient Western world, the Greek word pneuma meant both breath and spirit. The Romans understood deep, slow breathing as a practice with healing properties. Across cultures, across centuries, across traditions that never had any contact with each other, the same understanding kept arising. The breath is a bridge, a passage between the conscious and the unconscious, between the voluntary and the involuntary, between the turbulent surface of the mind and something deeper, quieter, and more still. It is interesting, in a gentle way, to consider that every tradition that looked carefully enough at the human body arrived at the same place. That the breath is not merely a mechanical function, that it is a lever, that it gives you access, if you choose to use it, to the deepest regulatory systems in your own body. Systems that are otherwise beyond reach. In November of 2024, a team of neuroscientists at the Salk Institute for Biological Studies published a paper in the journal Nature Neuroscience that added something new and rather beautiful to this long story. Led by a researcher named Sung Han, the team identified a specific brain circuit, a direct pathway, connecting the frontal cortex to the brainstem's breathing control center. The frontal cortex is the part of the brain most associated with conscious thought, decision-making, and deliberate action. The brainstem is ancient, deep, and largely automatic. These two regions don't often have direct, identified connections. And yet here was one, running between them with a very specific function. When this circuit was activated, when the frontal cortex reached down and sent signals to the brainstem's breathing center, anxiety decreased, negative emotional states softened, the breath slowed, and with it, something in the emotional landscape of the brain quieted. What the Salk Institute had found, in precise cellular and molecular terms, was the neural explanation for something that meditators and yogis had understood for thousands of years. When you consciously choose to slow your breath, you are not simply relaxing a muscle. You are activating a specific circuit in the brain. A pathway that runs from the thinking, choosing, conscious part of your mind all the way down to the ancient regulatory systems at the brainstem. And through that pathway, you are directly influencing your own anxiety and emotional state. You have a direct line. It has always been there. This is not a small thing. Most of what happens in the emotional brain is not directly accessible to conscious intention. You cannot decide to stop feeling anxious the way you decide to stop tapping your foot. The emotional systems are deep and they don't respond to instruction. But the breath is different. The breath is the doorway. And now we know, in the most precise biological terms available, what that doorway looks like and where it leads. There is something else worth knowing, something discovered by researchers at Stanford and the University of California in 2017, published in the journal Science. A team led by Mark Krasno and Kevin Yackel found that a small group of neurons within that same brainstem pacemaker, the pre-Butzinger complex that Jack Feldman had discovered years earlier, sends signals directly to a brain region that generates arousal. Sighing, they found, was regulated by this circuit. Yawning. The way your breathing changes when you're excited, or calm, or drifting towards sleep. In other words, the brainstem pacemaker doesn't just drive breathing. It is in ongoing conversation with the arousal systems of the brain. And that conversation goes both ways. Change the breathing, and you change the arousal. Slow the rhythm, and the brain begins to receive quieter signals. The body starts to understand that it is safe to rest. There is a quality to all of this research that feels, to me, less like a revelation and more like a confirmation. Like science finally catching up with something the body has known for a very long time. The people who sat quietly in ancient India, attending to the rise and fall of the breath, were doing something real, something measurable, something that was changing their brains and their bodies in ways that researchers are only now beginning to fully map. And you can do the same thing. Tonight. Without any equipment, without any training, without anything except the breath that is already here. You might recognize a particular feeling. It arrives most often at night when the day has finally wound down and there is nothing left to do. The body is exhausted. Genuinely, deeply tired, the kind of tired that has accumulated over days or weeks, and yet the mind won't stop. It keeps moving. It replays conversations, rehearses tomorrow, circles back to things that can't be resolved at 11 at night. The body wants to sleep. The mind has other plans. This is not a personal failing. It is what happens when the sympathetic nervous system has been running at a high level for a long time and hasn't been given a clear signal that it's safe to stand down. The stress hormones are still circulating. The heart rate is a little higher than it should be for sleep. The brain waves are still flickering in the fast alert frequencies, what researchers call beta waves, when what the body needs is for them to slow toward the gentle, open quality of alpha and then further down into the deep, slow rhythms of theta and delta that belong to the sleeping brain. The breath can help with this, not by forcing the mind to stop, which doesn't work, but by giving the nervous system the signal it needs. The signal that says, the day is over. The alarm can be released. Something in the body has been waiting for that signal. There is also something that researchers have found about the simple act of noticing the breath, not controlling it, just noticing it, that is worth knowing. When you place your attention on the breath, even lightly, even without any intention to change it, the mind has something to rest against. The loops and lists don't stop immediately, but they begin to lose their grip. They become a little more distant, a little less urgent. The breath becomes a kind of anchor, not a tight, effortful anchor, but the gentle kind, the kind that holds you loosely and lets you drift within a small, quiet radius. Slow, rhythmic breathing also has a quality that researchers describe as internally entrained. The consistent, unhurried pattern of the breath becomes a signal that the nervous system can follow, the way a room of people gradually falls into the same rhythm as a slow piece of music. The brain waves begin to follow the breath downward from the quick flutter of wakefulness toward the slower, softer frequencies of the borderland between waking and sleep. This is not something you need to make happen. It tends to happen on its own when the conditions are right. And the breath is one of the most reliable ways of creating those conditions. Something else is worth knowing, and it is one of the more tender facts I've come across in all of this. As infants, we are natural belly breathers. Watch a sleeping baby and you'll see it. The whole abdomen rising and falling, the breath deep and slow and full, the diaphragm doing exactly what it was designed to do. There is no effort in it. No technique. It is simply the body breathing in its most natural, most efficient, most calming way. Somewhere along the way, most of us lost this. The shallow chest breathing that many adults fall into is often linked to the accumulated tension of years of stress, of holding ourselves in, of bracing against things. The chest rises, the belly stays still, and the diaphragm barely moves. The vagus nerve receives less stimulation. The parasympathetic system stays quieter than it could be. The body never quite gets the signal that it is safe. Returning to deep belly breathing is, in a sense, returning to something you already knew. The body remembers it. It is not a new skill so much as a very old one, waiting to be reclaimed. Whatever tonight holds for you, whether you're anxious or sad or simply worn through, the breath is already here. It has been here all along. Patient and ancient and utterly without judgment. It doesn't require anything of you except, perhaps, a little gentle attention. And that is exactly what we're going to offer it now. In just a moment, we'll move into the second part of tonight, which is a guided meditation. It will be slow and warm and ask nothing difficult of you. It will simply invite you to follow the breath, softly, without effort, and let it do what it already knows how to do. Let it carry you somewhere quieter. Let it ease you gradually and gently toward the rest that your body has been asking for. You don't need to prepare for it. You don't need to do anything at all except stay exactly where you are, in the soft dark, and let the words arrive. Welcome back. You are still here, still resting, still held in this quiet moment that belongs entirely to you. And if you have been here before, if you heard part 1 and you are returning now, something in you already knows the way. Your body remembers. Your breath remembers. All you have to do is let yourself arrive again, a little more fully this time, a little more softly. There is nowhere to go from here. Nothing to do, nothing to figure out, nothing to get right. This moment is already complete, just as it is, and so are you. So let yourself settle. Let the weight of your body press gently downward into whatever is holding you. The mattress beneath you, the pillow under your head, the blanket resting over you like something warm and patient and kind. All of it is here to receive you. All of it is already doing its quiet work. You do not have to hold yourself together right now. You can let the surface beneath you do that. Just let yourself be held. Take a moment to feel where your body meets the bed, the back of your head, your shoulders, the length of your spine, your hips, the backs of your legs, your heels. Every point of contact soft and easy. Every place your body touches the world beneath it is a place where you are allowed to let go. And you are allowed to let go completely tonight. If you shifted position during part 1, settle again now. If you need to adjust, do it gently and slowly, like someone moving through water. And then be still. Let stillness come to you the way evening comes, gradually, naturally, without effort. Your eyes are already closed, or they are closing now, and that small darkness behind your eyelids is already beginning to feel familiar and safe. There is nothing you need to see right now. Everything that matters is already here, already inside this quiet. And now, very gently, let your attention find your breath, not to change it, not to make it deeper or longer or more correct, only to notice it, only to arrive where your breath already is. Your breath has been here this whole time, breathing you, moving through you like a tide that never stops. You did not have to ask it to. You did not have to remind it. It simply continued, faithful and unhurried, doing what it has always done. That is something worth resting in for a moment. Your breath has never left you. Through every hard day, every restless night, every moment of worry or exhaustion or overwhelm, your breath was there, quiet and steady beneath it all. Like the floor beneath a room, always present, always holding. And right now, your breath is here, moving in and moving out, carrying you gently forward through this night. Let your next breath come naturally, without you guiding it. Just let it arrive. Feel the soft expansion as the air comes in. Your chest or your belly, or both, rising very gently. The way a wave lifts, slowly, without hurry. And then the release. The easy letting go as the air flows out. Your body settling, your chest or belly softening back down. The way a wave returns to the sea. There is so much rest inside that out breath, so much permission inside that release. Every time you breathe out, your body is practicing letting go. It has been practicing this your whole life, and it is very, very good at it. Let your breath find its own rhythm now. It does not need to be slow. It does not need to be deep. It only needs to be yours, natural and unforced, moving at whatever pace feels right to your body in this moment. Just breathe. And feel how it feels to simply breathe. Maybe you notice the air at your nostrils, cool on the way in, slightly warmer on the way out. That small temperature difference, so quiet, so constant. You may never have paid attention to it before. And yet, it has always been there. Or maybe you feel the rise and fall in your chest. The gentle movement beneath your ribs, like something breathing inside a very calm sea. Or your belly lifting and softening, lifting and softening. That slow, easy rhythm that has always been the rhythm of rest. As you follow your breath, you may notice that it begins to slow all on its own. You do not need to make this happen. You only need to notice it when it does. The body, when it feels safe, when it feels held, naturally begins to breathe more slowly, more deeply, more fully. Your body knows how to do this. It has been waiting for permission. And the permission is simply this. You are here. You are safe. There is nothing you need to do tonight but rest. So let your breath slow. Let it deepen very gently in its own time. And with each slow breath out, feel your body releasing a little more of what it has been carrying. The tension of the day. The thoughts that have been circling. The small tightenings you may not have even noticed. All of it can soften now. All of it can go. And now, very slowly, we are going to move through your body together, from the very top of your head all the way down to your feet. And as we move through each place, you are simply going to invite it to soften, to release, to let go of any effort it has been holding. You do not have to force anything. You do not have to feel any particular sensation. You only have to bring your gentle attention to each place and breathe and allow. That is all. Begin at the very top of your head, the crown of your skull. Let your awareness rest there for a moment, lightly, like a hand placed very gently on your head. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, let the scalp soften, the skin across the top of your head releasing any subtle tension it might have been holding. You may not have known it was there. It was so quiet. But as you breathe out now, you can feel it easing. The scalp gently releasing, growing soft and still. Let that softness spread down the sides of your head, your temples, where so much tension can gather through the day. Let them go. Let them ease. As if something that was gently gripped is being allowed at last to open. Your forehead now. That wide open space above your eyes. Let any lines or furrows there smooth themselves away. Let the brow grow wide and peaceful and still. You do not have to hold any expression right now. You do not have to look like anything or feel like anything. Just let the forehead be soft and spacious and at rest. Your eyes. Even behind your closed eyelids, there can be a kind of effort, a subtle holding. Let that go now. Let your eyes rest completely. Let them feel heavy and still, like stones resting at the bottom of a quiet lake. There is nothing to see right now. There is nothing to watch for. You can let your eyes rest as deeply as they like. And your cheeks, the soft flesh of your face, all the tiny muscles that hold our expressions through the day. Let them all release now. Let your face become soft and open like the face of a sleeping child. Peaceful, unguarded, still. Your nose and your mouth. Let your lips part just slightly if that feels natural. Let your jaw become heavy, unhinging very gently, releasing the grip that the jaw so often holds without us even realizing. The jaw carries so much. So many unspoken words, so many held back sighs, so much quiet effort. Let it all go now. Let your jaw be heavy. Let your mouth be soft. Let your face be completely at peace. Breathe in slowly and breathe out, releasing a little more. Feel how the whole of your face has softened, how the top of your head has quieted, how something that was working is now resting. Let your awareness drift down now to your neck, the long, gentle column of your neck which has been holding your head up all day, which has been carrying the weight of all your thoughts. Let it soften now. Let the muscles along the back of your neck release their hold. Let the sides of your neck ease. Let your head feel completely supported by the pillow beneath you, so that your neck does not have to hold anything at all. Nothing to support, nothing to carry, only rest. Your throat. This is a place where we often hold our breath without knowing it. A place where emotion can tighten and lodge. Let your throat be soft and open now. Let your breath pass through it easily, freely, without any restriction at all, like air moving through a wide open window on a still evening. Your throat is soft, your neck is at rest, your head is heavy and still. Let your awareness move down now into your shoulders. Pause here for a moment, because the shoulders carry so much. They carry worry and responsibility and the weight of everything we have been trying to hold together. As you breathe in, notice your shoulders. And as you breathe out, let them drop. Let them release downward, away from your ears, away from your neck. Let them sink into the mattress beneath you. Let them grow heavy and warm and completely still. You do not have to carry anything right now. You do not have to be strong right now. Your shoulders can rest. Completely. Fully. Right now. Let them sink a little more. And a little more. There is no flaw to their softening. They can always release a little further than you think. Your upper arms now. The long muscles of your upper arms easing, growing warm and heavy. Your elbows resting where they lie. Your forearms soft and still. Let the weight of your arms be entirely received by the bed beneath you. You do not have to hold your arms up. You do not have to hold your arms up. They can simply rest, heavy as sleeping things, warm and still. Your wrists, the joints that work so hard, so constantly. Let them be still now. Let them soften. Let them rest. And your hands, your fingers. Let your fingers uncurl very gently like petals opening in slow motion. Let the spaces between your fingers widen and relax. Let your palms grow soft and open, turn gently toward the ceiling, or resting however they have fallen. Your hands have worked so hard today, they can be completely, entirely still. Feel the warmth in your hands as they rest. Feel the heaviness in your arms. From your shoulders all the way down to the tips of your fingers, your arms are resting deeply, warmly, completely. Breathe in gently. Let your awareness move now into your chest. The wide open space of your chest. And notice how your breath moves here. The gentle rise and fall. The soft expansion with each breath in. The easy settling with each breath out. There may be something in your chest tonight. Some tightness, some heaviness, some feeling that has been sitting there quietly through the day. You do not have to name it or understand it. You do not have to do anything with it at all. Only breathe toward it, gently, the way you might breathe. Warmth towards something cold. Breathe in and let your chest expand softly. Breathe out and let whatever is held there begin to soften. Your chest does not have to be armored right now. It does not have to protect anything. It can be open and soft and at rest. Let your ribcage ease. The muscles between your ribs releasing. Let your chest grow wide and warm and still, rising and falling with each breath in the most gentle, unhurried way. Your upper back now. The place between your shoulder blades, where tension so often gathers without invitation. Let it release. Let the muscles of your upper back soften into the mattress. Feel the support of the surface beneath you pressing gently upward to meet you. You are held. You are supported. You do not have to hold yourself up. Your mid-back. Your lower back. The long muscles on either side of your spine, easing and releasing one vertebra at a time from the top of your back all the way down to your tailbone. Let your spine be at rest. Let it be long and soft and still. Your whole back resting now, completely held. Let your awareness move into your belly, the soft center of you. This is where we so often hold our breath, where we tighten against the world without even knowing it. Let your belly be soft now. Let it rise and fall freely with each breath. Let it be completely unguarded, completely at ease. Feel how your belly moves with your breath. The gentle swell on the in-breath, the quiet settling on the out-breath, like something breathing in a meadow on a warm afternoon. Slow and full and free. Your belly is soft. Your whole middle is at rest. The core of you is releasing, letting go, growing warm and easy. Your hips now, the wide, strong bowl of your pelvis, releasing its weight entirely into the bed beneath you. You have been carrying the weight of your body in your hips all day. Let them rest now. Let them sink. Let them grow heavy and still, like stones that have finally reached the bottom of deep, quiet water. Let the muscles around your hips soften. The front of your hips, the outer edges, the deep inner muscles that hold so much without us realizing. Let them all release. Let them all grow warm and heavy and still. Breathe in all the way down into your belly. And breathe out, releasing from your hips all the way down. Let your awareness travel now into your thighs, the long, strong muscles of your thighs softening, growing heavy. You do not need them to do anything right now. They can rest completely. They can be as heavy as warm sand, as still as sleeping things. Your knees resting gently where they are. The soft tissue around your knees, releasing any subtle holding. Your calves. Let the muscles of your calves ease and soften. Let them grow warm and heavy against the mattress. Every muscle that has carried you through this day is allowed to stop now. Every muscle that has worked and walked and stood and moved can simply be still. Your shins. Your ankles. The joints of your ankles growing loose and soft and easy. And your feet, your tired, faithful feet. Let them sink. Let them grow heavy. Let your toes uncurl gently, releasing any last grip, any final tension. Let the soles of your feet grow warm and soft. Let the arches release. Let every small bone and muscle in your feet rest completely. From the very top of your head to the very tips of your toes, your body is resting now, completely, deeply. Held. Take a long, slow breath in, and a long, slow breath out. Feel the whole of your body heavy and warm and still. Feel how much has softened, how much has been released. How different you feel now than when you began. This is the body at rest. This is the body remembering what it knows, and it knows so much. It knows how to breathe and how to release and how to let the night do its quiet healing work. You do not have to do anything more. You only have to stay here, in this softness, in this warmth, and let yourself drift. And now, very gently, I want to invite you somewhere. Not somewhere you have to go. Only somewhere you might allow yourself to imagine if that feels easy and natural. a place so soft and safe and quiet that the mind can finally fully let go. Imagine that you are resting beside still water. Not a vast ocean, not a restless sea. Only a small, quiet lake somewhere deep in a forest, somewhere no one else has found tonight. The water is perfectly still. So still that it holds a perfect reflection of the sky above, the way a mirror holds a face, gently and without effort. The sky is the deep, soft blue of late evening, not quite dark, but darkening. The first stars are just appearing, very faint, like small fires being lit one by one in some far and quiet place. You are lying on the bank beside the water. The ground beneath you is soft, covered in thick, cool moss that holds your weight perfectly, that shapes itself to the curves of your body, the way your bed is shaping itself to you right now. You are completely comfortable, completely at ease. The air is warm, but not too warm. There is the faintest breath of a breeze moving across the surface of the water, and you can feel it softly on your face, cool and clean and gentle. It carries with it the smell of water and earth and green growing things. It carries the smell of quiet. You breathe in, and the air here is the softest air you have ever breathed. It moves into you easily, without effort, as if your body were simply drinking it in. As if breathing here required nothing at all. And you breathe out, and the night receives your breath, and everything stays perfectly still. The water is so quiet. You can hear it only as a kind of absence of sound, a hush, a depth. Occasionally a small sound at the edge, the tiniest movement of water against stone, so small it is almost imagined. And somewhere in the trees behind you, a single, distant sound. A night bird calling once and then going silent. And then the quiet is deeper than before. You feel completely safe here. You feel completely held. The moss beneath you is so soft. The warmth of the evening is all around you like something gentle and kind. The sky above you is opening slowly into darkness, star by star, and you can watch it without effort, without thought, simply receiving it the way the water receives it, perfectly, without trying. Your breath is very slow now. Very slow and very deep and very easy. Each breath in draws the soft, clean air of this quiet place into the deepest parts of you. Each breath out releases a little more of the day, a little more of the weight, a little more of whatever has been waiting to be let go. You do not have to hold anything here. There is no one to be here, no role to play, no task to complete, no thought to finish. Only this. Only the water and the sky and the soft ground beneath you and the slow, easy movement of your breath. If thoughts come, let them come. You do not need to push them away. Pushing takes effort, and effort is not what tonight is for. Instead, let your thoughts be like leaves drifting on the surface of the water. They arrive. They float. They drift slowly, slowly toward the far edge of the lake, and they disappear around a bend and they are gone. You do not follow them. You stay here, on the bank, watching the water, feeling the warmth of the ground beneath you. Another thought comes. Another leaf on the water. You notice it. You let it drift. It rounds the bend. It is gone. You are still here. You are always still here. The sky is darkening now, softly, gradually, the way sleep comes when you stop trying to find it. The blue is deepening into something richer, something velvety and still. The stars are clearer now, more of them appearing, scattered across the sky like something spilled very gently from an open hand. You look up at them without effort, without thought. They are simply there, and you are simply here. And the space between you and the stars is filled with the most perfect quiet. Your body is so heavy now. Keys. You feel as though you are sinking gently into the moss, into the soft ground, the way a stone sinks slowly through still water, not falling, only settling, only finding its place of perfect rest. Your breathing is so slow and so deep and so quiet. You can barely feel the difference between breathing in and breathing out. It has all become one soft, continuous movement, like the water breathing, like the night itself breathing. The warmth around you is deepening. It is rising up through the ground and settling over you like something woven from everything soft and safe and good. It covers you from your feet to your shoulders. It rests against your cheek like a hand placed there with great tenderness. You are held. You are completely, entirely held. And somewhere in the trees the nightbird calls once more, even more distant now, barely a sound at all, more like the memory of a sound. And then it is gone, and the quiet is so complete that you can feel it, like something resting on your chest, like something pressing you gently, gently down. You do not need to stay awake. You do not need to hold on to this moment, or this image, or these words. You do not need to hold on to anything at all. The water will stay. The stars will stay. The soft ground and the warm night and the perfect quiet will all stay right here, waiting for you, asking nothing, needing nothing. And you can let go. You can let go completely. Your breath is so slow now, moving in and out without any effort at all. Your body is so still, so heavy. Every part of you resting. Every part of you released. The stars are very bright now, very clear against the dark sky, and you are not really looking at them anymore. They are simply there, above you, part of the night, part of this deep and quiet place. Your thoughts are very slow, like water moving almost imperceptibly across still stone, like clouds so distant they seem not to move at all. You are sinking, gone softly, gently, deeper into the warmth, deeper into the quiet, deeper into the soft, dark, restful place that is already waiting for you. Your breath, low, and slower. The water, fill, tonight, warm, haphazardly you safe, quiet, holding you. Let go. Let everything go. You are safe. You are resting. You are already there. Sleep now. Completely.